guys, it's that time again. Which is better? And it will be a death special. So if you're a fan of death metal, or just curious, then this is definitely for you. And the two albums we're going to be looking at are Scream, Bloody Gore and Leprosy. And before I continue, I'm going to leave links in the description to check out songs by AMARTH, as well as links to check out my Twitter and Instagram pages. There you get to see what bands I'm listening to, as well as what my band merch collection looks like. So looking at Scream, Bloody Gore, and I know what's going to happen now. You saw the thumbnail, and in your mind it triggered a thought to have the discussion about who started which bands like death metal. Now there's this album, and then there's the other album, Seven Churches by Possessed. If you want to have that debate right now, the comment section is down below, go right ahead. Putting that aside, the music on this album is raw, heavy and straightforward. Chuck does a great job in terms of vocals, guitar and bass, and crystal drums. Now they practiced a lot to get this album out and made. They had to go through some loopholes before finally making a record on Combat Records, by the way. This album was nothing fancy, but the sound wasn't so raw that you couldn't make out what the guitarists were sounding like. And as Jim Morris said from Morris's Sound, he says, Chuck is talking to you through the riffs, and you better believe that. This album has set the tone for other death metal bands like Morbid Angel, Deicide and so on, and they also move into the category of death metal. These guys even practice for this to get made out to listeners. What to expect in addition to what I said? The song Zombie Ritual is a great song. It's fast and catchy, but the production isn't the best, but it was good enough for Combat. And even though this album was initially turned down, they found someone that could put in the time to make the recording, even though he didn't know what the band members talked about in the genre. But for more reference, look at the documentary Death by Metal. It's worth watching. Switching gears, we're going to look at the Leprosy album. Now this album is absolutely heavy, no question about it. This is the beginning to Death's musical evolution musically, and it pretty much shows a new lineup. This album is heavy, but at the same time it's also catchy. The album the whole way through has great songs full of Chuck's songwriting and lyrical concepts. The music fit the lyrics perfectly, and you'll see that he's getting away from gory subject matter and putting more effort into the words. Rick Ross adds a different element to the lead department, a little whammy bar solos that complement the music. Absolutely. Even though I like all Death releases, the earlier stuff, namely this one, is creative and innovative. But as time went on, the lineups and musical direction changed, and Death turned from death metal to more progressive metal, hence moving forward to Control Denied. But unfortunately in 2001, this will be the year that Chuck will be taken from us. May he rest peacefully. Like I said earlier, Rick brought a new element to the band, but unfortunately not good enough for what Chuck wanted to do going forward. Obviously Rick was disappointed with his removal from the band, and he formed a band called Massacre. I don't think that this album really had many flaws, hence why I think it's so good. The music, leads, vocals, production and mixing all went really well, and to be honest, you can't ask for a better Death release. This is Chuck playing raw, but not so much on the previous album, Scream, Bloody Gore. This is the beginning of the movement of all across the board in terms of bands like Carcass, Obituary and Deicide. This is the big move into the really heavy stuff thanks to Chuck. But what later happens is the musical direction towards a more melodic sound. Leprosy is bunch of death metal galore, and it's worth checking out. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought was the better album. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.